Hi all, welcome to SK Data Diaries. Myself Sandhu Kumar, I am working with the MNC as a data engineer. In our previous video, we saw the high-level architecture of the data engineering, and we understood that as a data engineer, we need the storage layer and processing layer. Here you can see what are the different data storage layer option we are having. We have a data lake, database, and data warehouse, right? What is the need of having a different kind of a data storage layer? Why can't we store everything in the database itself? For understanding this, you must know what is the OLTP and OLAP system. I will give you the idea of OLTP and OLAP. OLTP is nothing but the online transactional processing. OLAP is known as online analytical processing. In our OLTP system, we store day-to-day transactional data. For example, you made a car sale today. You enter that data into the database. So that data will get stored in database. Now you imagine our business want to do the analytics on top of the data which is there on the transactional system. If data analytics team directly try to hit the transactional system, there might be the system slowdown. Business don't want to slow down the system. So business move their historical data into the data warehouse. Then what is the need of data lake? In data lake, as we saw earlier, we can store a different kind of a data like unstructured and semi-structured data, whereas in our data warehouse we can have only structured data. The another issue we face with data warehouse is that we have to do the transformation before loading the data into the data warehouse. Let us see what is ETL and ELT. In this diagram, you can see that this is our database. From this database, we are extracting the data and do the transformation. What is the transformation we are doing here? We are aggregating the data according to the business need. For example, business want to do the analytics on the basis of a monthly aggregated data. So here we aggregated our data and load it into data warehouse. In this case, we are storing data into the warehouse according to the business need. But what if the business need changes? Then again we have to do the ETL process. We have to extract the data from the database and do the transformation according to the current business need and then load the data into data warehouse. This kind of ETL process need more computation. To avoid this recomputation, business moved to ELT process. Evolution of cloud technology helped business to move from a traditional ETL to ELT process. In ELT process, we are extracting data from the database and then load the data directly into the data lake. Here we are loading data into a data lake in the raw format. From here we can transform the data according to the business needs. In this way, we can eliminate the recomputation process. After understanding the difference between ETL and ELT, if we look the difference between the OLTP and OLAP, that will make more sense. Now you can see the difference between the OLTP and OLAP. In OLTP system, we have the transactional data and OLAP system holds historical and aggregated data. For OLTP system, in our case, for the database, data comes from ERP system or point of sales applications. For our OLAP system, In our case, the data warehouse and data lake data comes from our OLTP system. We do the ELT or ETL process to get the data from database to OLAP system. Now get back to the difference between database, data lake and data warehouse and the different purpose. Our database holds the transactional data. Our data warehouse and data lake holds the historical data. We are having the database to run the application to hold the transactional data. Our data warehouse and data lake it's related to the analytical purpose. In database and data warehouse, we can hold only structured data, but our data lake can have structure, semi-structured and unstructured data. The cost of holding data in database and warehouse is costlier than our data lake. The another important thing to note is a database and data warehouse work on schema on write, which means if you want to enter the data into a database or the data warehouse, it goes through certain validation. But in case of a data lake, you can write the data, but you have to define the schema while reading. To understand this better, let us open the database and see how the data is stored. Here you can see each and every column have certain data types. For example, in our company column, we can store only a string type of data. Our total laid off column holding integer and percentage laid off column holding decimal values. Our date column holding date values. If you want to feed the data into database, it should go through schema validation. This is what known as schema enforcement. Before entering the data, it validates the data type. If the data types satisfied, then only it will get stored. But in case of a data lake, we can store the data without the schema enforcement. Now we understood the difference between the database, data lake, and data warehouse. We will see some example for each of them. We are having different legacy database system like Microsoft SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL. We are having Azure Synapse, Snowflake, data warehouses. When it comes to data lake, we are having ADLS Gen 2, AWS S3, and then GCP cloud storage. With all this information, we understood about the storage layer very clearly. Let's move on to the processing layer. For processing, we can leverage Azure Synapse Analytics, Databricks, or Amazon Glue. After the transformation, we put the data into another storage layer, which is known as serving layer. From the serving layer, data analyst and data scientist team pull the data and work further. Now you must have good understanding about the different layers in data engineering and what can be used as a storage layer, transformation layer, and then the serving layer. I hope I added some value. With that note, I am ending today's video. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Keep learning, happy learning. I will come up with new and interesting topic. Thank you.